So, Mr. Theory, what are the guiding principles of the EVCA?
Well, our school motto is truth and virtue uphold the republic. And so those would be the two most foundational principles, seeking truth together and learning how to behave and act virtuously.
Why was the EVCA conceived in an area with lots of other public schools around?
Well, I'm from the Midwest, and so it's all relative whether there are a lot of them or not, but I get your point that there are other choices, and I think that is one of the beautiful things about and correct things that the state of New Mexico has done in terms of the charter schools division and to their describe themselves as the options for parents division. So parent choice and that I guess called local control, that parents educating their students in the way that they choose is a very American democratic idea, and that EVCA is a stark example, I'd like to say shining example as well, due to our successes in many levels, of parents exercising that option to say, yeah, we believe in these principles, and we want our students educated in this way, and we're taxpayers, and so we believe that it makes sense and fits the democratic principles that we can spend our tax money this way. It's, our school's legal, and it's a choice, it's an option, and it's distinctive from the schools in the area. It is a real difference in terms of as what we stand for and what we promote in terms of teaching from the Western tradition, traditional American values and perspectives. So that's what I think I know that's what the founders saw. They saw a need for a type of education that isn't new. It's a return to, we'd say, tried and true methods and perspectives, but it just wasn't available to the public without paying tuition, and arguably just wasn't available at all.
What does the EVCA teach that is different from public schools that makes them better?
Of course, we like to think it's better, and so I would agree that, and even to that, to say we don't think we're just another flavor of education, that if one gives pause and reflective thought, you would say, yeah, this is what we want as a culture. These are the values that are promoted at EVCA actively and intentionally, are the values that made America great, the perspectives that built the country that we all enjoy today, and many feel is at risk because of influences that mitigate against the founding principles. One of the items I would point to, the aspects, is a cultural literacy. There's a lot of celebration of diversity and differences, and I enjoy diversity and differences. One of my hobbies is learning foreign languages. I've thought to myself over the years, I'm glad there's Chinese and Arabic and Spanish. I like studying those kind of things. It makes it interesting. And I imagine I wouldn't like to live in a world where everyone speaks the same language. What would be the fun in that?
What do students typically focus on learning throughout their years in the EVCA?
Yeah, so the classical education tradition, the classical part, has a programmatic element to it as well. we talk about the grammar stage, the logic stage, and the rhetoric stage. And so early in a student's academic and intellectual development and character development, we emphasize the grammar, the grammar school label, where students learn facts, right? They learn literacy and math. Is our big emphasis, learning how to read, write, express oneself, say accurately, because that's how you best do it, right? So you want to learn how to, you've got ideas, you've got, but you need to be able to express them in a way that's understandable and clear. So have students learn facts in the grammar stage, reading, writing, math, geography, history. So we build that up in the grammar stage. In the logic stage, as you get older, you start to think about connections among the facts and patterns. Humans seek patterns and logical connections, and develop those through all the studies, including mathematics, is a prime way recognized long ago by the Greeks to develop the mind to think logically about facts. And then ultimately the rhetoric stage, where you learn to effectively communicate one's ideas and perspectives in a cogent and persuasive way.
What do you visualize for the future of the school, say, in the next 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, again, I'd say a steadiness, a perseverance. That's one of our pillars of character, persevere. And upholding standards of right, upholding the standards, academic standards, and that's our big charter goal. And we think also our big mandate in terms of why we're dedicated to maintaining more than changing. And again, maintaining according to first principles of good living and happiness. Looking forward, I think just being a pillar. I would say pillars of character, because pillars aren't supposed to move, right? So it's a solid foundation. Something in the community that upholds standards of citizenship and learning. In terms of growth, we think we're aiming for about 700, and if there are more than that, then I think you just spawn a new school, because some of these issues of scale don't work as well when you're trying to create a certain type of learning community. It's easy for a school or anyone to drift off their mission with all the pressures pushing and pulling, and sometimes it really is painful to make a decision that's unpopular, even if it's unpopular for just a very small segment of a school's population. It's difficult, and it's hard to resist compromising and saying, why can't we just make everybody happy? So I think I've seen a growing trend over the 5 years I've been here that's become more healthy and healthier. Less than, fewer and fewer people just coming in and being upset. But even if they are, saying, well, let's talk about it. So I see trust building in our community over the years, and I think that's a testimony to everyone, and a testimony most of all to our principals. They really do work when you trust them and dedicate yourself to them. And we used to call these basic principles, but they're not so basic anymore.